Question 31. What about the issue of multiple readings? There are a number of readings, the 10 readings. So why is there this multiplicity in readings? The answer is that there is a Mutawatir hadith narrated by more than 10 of the companions, narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim, that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "This Quran was revealed in 7 dialects." Now let's read the full narration. Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, said, "I heard Hisham ibn Hakim ibn Hizam reciting Surah Al-Furqan, and he recited letters in it that the Prophet, peace be upon him, had not taught me. I asked, 'Who taught you this surah?' The Messenger of God, peace be upon him, said, 'I said, you are mistaken. This is not how the Messenger of God, peace be upon him, taught you.' So I took his hand and led him to the Messenger of God, peace be upon him, and said, 'O Messenger of God, you taught me Surah Al-Furqan, and I heard him recite it with words you did not teach me.' The Messenger of God, peace be upon him, then said, 'Recite, O Hisham.' So he recited as he used to recite. The Messenger of God said, 'This is how it was revealed.' Then he said, 'Recite, O Umar.' So I recited, and he said, 'This is how it was revealed.' Then the Messenger of God, peace be upon him, said, 'The Quran was revealed in 7 dialects.' The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught the companions the Quran with the 7 letters. Each group of companions knew one of the 7 letters. But here is the question: how did the 10 readings emerge while we have only 7 letters? And the answer: a follower might take Surah Al-Nahl, for example, from the companion Abdullah ibn Mas'ud in one recitation style, and take Surah Al-Isra from the companion Ubayy ibn Ka'b in a recitation style of his choice. Then this follower teaches his students these selections of letters he chose. So these selections of letters are called a recitation. Therefore, when the follower selects this passage with one letter and another passage with a different letter, this selection is called a recitation. And from here appeared the recitations. The 7 ahruf are included in the 10 shira'at, and today we have hundreds of thousands of Muslims who memorize the Quran with the 10 shira'at. But are these 10 shira'at only about differences in elongations and the pronunciation of some letters in the Quran? Yes, this is the principle. The difference in the 7 recitations is in the elongations and pronunciation of some letters, making it easier for the Arabic tongue. However, there are also a few words that differ from one recitation to another. Thus, each reading provides an additional new meaning to the verse. Therefore, Mujahid, the student of Ibn Abbas, said, "If you had read the reading of Ibn Mas'ud, I wouldn't have needed to ask Ibn Abbas about much of the Quran that I asked about, as each reading opens new meanings for the verse. Therefore, the 10 readings are derived from the 7 letters. All of them have been transmitted in succession from the mouth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and most of the differences between the readings are variations in the pronunciation of some letters. But here a question may arise. How can the Uthmanic Codex be a single text when we have this number of readings? The answer is that when Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, compiled the Quran, he did not add diacritical marks on the letters. Some might think this is because diacritical marks appeared only at a later stage. The dotting of the Arabic letters existed long before Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah be pleased with him, and we have inscriptions dating back to the year 22 Hijri where the dotting appears clearly. We also have a report from Ibn Abbas that Umar ibn Jadra implemented the dotting at a very early time. Therefore, one of the reasons for the lack of dotting in the Quran in Uthman's Codex was to allow for readings in various recitations. The Uthmanic Codex allows for reading with all the recitations, but as we said, in some instances, the word changes from one recitation to another. So even if there were no dotting, we could not establish all the aspects of recitation in a single codex. For example, in his saying, "And whoever turns away, then indeed Allah is the free of need, the praiseworthy." So what does Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, do to accommodate both readings in his Mushafa? Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, in the Quran he wrote for Medina and Syria, made it with one reading, and in the Quran he sent to others, he established. Thus, both readings are established in the Uthmanic Codex, as Uthman's codices establish the readings in their forms. Ibn Ab said, "The Quran with which prayer is permissible by consensus is the one marked in the Imam's codices that Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, sent to the regions. And this is the one that is continuously transmitted both in general and in detail. Thus, the codices that Uthman distributed in the lands of the Muslims included the readings. Regardless of all this, the recitations are mutawatir orally from the mouth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, as we said. The Quran is an audiobook, and you do not wait for a written copy to know how to read the Quran. Rather, you will only know the correct way to recite the Quran through oral transmission from mouth to mouth. And that is why Uthman, may Allah be pleased with him, would send with each mushaf a reciter to teach the people the Quran with this recitation or that. Without the oral transmission of every letter in the Quran, you will not know the correct and precise recitation. In fact, there are pronunciation rules in the Quran, like Ishmam, that you will not know how to apply even by listening, unless you see the lips of the person teaching you the Quran. The Quran is an orally transmitted book, passed down from mouth to mouth. Muslims can take pride in preserving the articulation of every Quranic letter and the pronunciation method of each Quranic letter. Indeed, it is we who sent down the reminder, and indeed we will be its guardian. And no book from heaven, as far as I know, was revealed with more than one reading except the Holy Quran. This demonstrates the greatness of this nation and how it has cared for its Lord's book. The way each letter is pronounced with its various readings has been transmitted consecutively from the mouth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, to every generation of Muslims up to the present.